6, 7, 8. Good morning. It is Thursday, July 16th, I believe. Let me double check. July 16th, 2022. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. Couple things I'm going to talk about real quick. First one. Yesterday, I had what I look back at as a pretty interesting class, not Qigong class. And I learned quite a bit from paying attention to that. I've also got something else that I've been working on, and I mentioned this before, it's a science fiction story that has martial arts in it. And I started working on that yesterday, and it's going along really well. It's really going along well. So I had spent all day yesterday working on that. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that today. There are, again, there's martial arts, and there's part of what I'm teaching here in that story. That's part of why I'm writing the story. All right, today's class, I was prompted by something that I saw, and it was a common, I'm gonna say fairly common, misconception on the part of the person who had the misconception. It's about Qi. All right, and we're here to practice Qigong. Qigong, and that's the pronunciation, by the way. The Qi part of that, we're going to talk about. The Gong part of it, I'm going to explain really quick. That means workmanship. Gong Fu means workmanship. We pronounce it, American English, Kung Fu, right? Kung Fu, no, Gong Fu. Different. You should be able to hear the difference. I want you to hear the difference. I do. It matters for, so many different things. Qigong, Qi, Gong, this Gong is the same character, written the same way as Gong Fu. Kung Fu means hard work. It doesn't mean martial arts. Wushu is martial arts. Kung Fu means hard work. A dancer, a singer, a carpenter, stonemason, a writer can all have Gong Fu. Workmanship in what they're doing. Practice, development. This is the idea behind work. You have to do something to get it. We're about ready to do something here. All right. So, with the idea that it's work, what are we working on? Qi, and you can look it up, Qi in Pinyin. I've got it all over my website. If you look at Wudang Qigong, Wudang, first two characters, Qigong, second two characters, that Qi. Kong Qi, the air. Kong Qi, Qi gets translated as air. But we want to to cultivate qi. We want to build our qi. The same, this is the same character in the written form, that it goes way back. So just stay with that idea. All right, the development that we want to be able to use this air. We have an expression in English that he or she might be full of hot air. It's not a compliment. I want to cultivate my air. I'm going to practice my air. No. How do we translate qi? Well, what are we talking about? And what can we do with it? Alright. This, the idea of what is qi and what are we talking about, I can go on at length, and there's a lot. Oh, it's been studied and written about for, I'm going to give or take 5,000 years. Somewhere around in there. Yellow Emperor's Book of Internal Medicine. It goes way back. This concept is, again, it's mistranslated quite a bit. Air. What is air? I'm going to cultivate my air. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to cultivate my breathing, because when I breathe in and out. 这不是，这是呼吸，不是气。What? 呼吸不是气，呼吸是呼吸，气是气。So, the breathing in and out, 呼吸，不是 is not qi. It's not. But we translate it as breath. When I talk about it, I try to distinguish, and you hear me do this every class, and we're going to do it again in this class, distinguish the physical breath from the internal breath. Right? The physical breath, 呼吸, is breathing in, breathing out, using the lungs, using the diaphragm, using the back, using the whole body to breathe. That idea, this is physical. It's entirely physical. It's entirely repeatable. It is. The internal breath, qi, also has its components, also has its methods. Diaphragm, small heavenly circle. We have that idea behind that there are methods that we can use to develop and cultivate that inner breath. Just the same as there are methods and techniques that we can use to cultivate the external breath. That 呼吸, the physical breath. It's not... Alright, so I'm going to tie this up for a second, and we're going to get started. Qi is something that we all have. There's lengthy discussions about qi being the life energy force, and I'm ridiculing a little bit because some of that is deserving of. Qi 不是精 energy. Qi 不是神 spirit. And the spirit, not the ghostly wisps of things, although that does have that meaning as well. What I'm talking about is the element of emotion, the element of commitment, the element of whatever it is you're bringing. So you may say, you know, I just watched a very spirited football game, that both teams were playing with good spirit and they had a great game, right? That spirit. Shen. Shen 不是qi. 呼吸不是qi. So this life energy force, again, lots of texts that use that concept to explain qi. Without that inner breath, the rest of it doesn't happen. If we don't pay attention to our breathing, how we circulate our physical breath, how we develop and look at that inner breath, then we're not going to learn about Jing, which is in fact that inner energy that combines with the Qi. And we're not going to learn about Shen that combines with the Qi and the Jing. Right? These combinations are part of the foundation for Qigong practice in the tradition. Okay? And I said I was going to line this up. What we get very often in the West is some kind of mishmash of the fictional story, which can be very dramatic and attract a lot of students to come to be dramatic because, yeah. And, sorry. And we get, right? So we get this superficial thing, the appearance, the out, and if you've followed me, you know where I'm going with this, the outward appearance of something, and no really good explanation. 我不会翻译，这个气是气，那我不翻译，翻译是气的人，你要学习是气是气。I can't translate it. It's qi. You have to learn what qi is, right? It's a mystery. How do I learn what qi is when this much is available in English and this much is available in Chinese? It's not accessible. I read English. This is what's been written in English. Or other languages, and it's for most of the stuff that exists, it's a much smaller amount that's been written in other languages. Alright, so how do I learn this? The outward appearance over here, and this little bit of language, you know, this little bit that's been translated over here, opens a really wide door for misconceptions, for all sorts of issues with what we're really talking about. Partly because we take whatever we know and we want to bring that in. I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this. So I'm going to bring that in here so I can understand. I want to understand what this qi is. I can't read any of this. It's in a language that I don't understand. So I have to depend on what's here. All right, that's the problem. That's where that problem comes from. All right? It's not always the fault of the person who's 3 levels down and trying to understand. They're trying to put something that they haven't been able to study to sufficient level into their own context. It's hard to do that and keep whatever it was that you were learning clear. It didn't happen. When one disregards appearances, we can develop clear understanding. This is part of how we practice. Quiet the mind, quiet the body, quiet the heart. That gives you the opportunity. It doesn't give you the chi, it gives you the opportunity to start looking for it. That progression is something that, here I am. That's something that Americans just don't want. No. If you can't explain this to me in the next 3 minutes, then you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to listen to you. It's not a 3-minute explanation. It's not. All right, and that expectation, I personally did not have that expectation. All right, so my going to China wasn't by accident. I wanted to learn. I expected to learn the language. And I needed to see for myself, it's just me, other people, when I was of an era, I wanted to see for myself what this is. I wanted to learn. And I wanted that close to first-hand knowledge, as close as I could get. I got closer than I expected, and I have tried to keep that study through my entire practice. Part of what I learned, and I was talking about that because I know the difference between hu, shi, and chi. I studied it. I learned it. I'm not the only one. A lot of people have studied and learned it. That's part of why I'm here. Is as I'm teaching, and part of why am I here? As I'm teaching, some of the insights, some of the things that I learned that I tripped over, that I stumbled over, that I didn't understand, that I wasn't clear about, that what is this? What are you talking about? I have no idea what this is. I learned. And if you're trying to learn, keep going. But don't get stuck with the idea that this little tiny piece over here is all there is. I'm telling you, I know probably about this much. And I will guarantee you that there's probably 20 to 50 times more that I don't know about. It's a long history. All right. Enough of my lecture for this morning. Feet about, shoulder width apart. Bend the knees, wiggle the toes. Open the arms, we need a basic stretch. Arms circle the front. Back around to both sides. Up along the center line. Reach out. Big circle. Bend the knees. Again. One more time. Stretch up. Elbows drop down. Wrists. Hands return to your sides. And relax. As we practice, begin at extreme emptiness. Pay attention today to the connection between the Bai, right now, this is what we're going to work on, Bai Hui and Hui Yin at the base of the torso. Okay? Bai Hui up here, Hui Yin at the base. Okay? Here we go. Bring them together. Feet about, shoulder width apart. Ladies, right hand on the outside. Gentlemen, left hand on the outside. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bend the knees. Pull down from the top. Pull up from below. Open the back. Use the diaphragm. Open the lungs. Relax the hips. Open the toes. Drop the tailbone as you bend the knees. Open the Ming Men in the center of the lower back. Two more. Pull up from below. Pull down from above. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Both hands separate. Press down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Relax for a minute. This pull down from above. As we pull in, center of the crown of the head, pull in. The idea behind is to draw down the same as what we're doing with the diaphragm. The diaphragm drops and opens, the lungs fill. This pull down. We're going to do this again. All right? Pay attention to this. Pull down 3 times. Ladies, right hand on the outside. Gentlemen, left hand on the outside. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Pull in. Pull down. And breathe out. Exhale. And one more time. Hands separate, down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels, and lower. Stay there. Change just a little. Breathe in here. Now, from here, come down. Okay? Breathe in. This pull in, pull down. As you sink. 3 times. Ladies, right hand on the outside. Gentlemen, left hand on the outside. And breathe in. And breathe out. Pull in and down. Pull in from above. Press down. Open. And again. One more time. Breathe in. Hands separate. Down on both sides. Pull up the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. This. Breathe in. Press down. Bai Hui. Shuanglong, Renjung, Zhongdantian, Xiaotantian. This press down completes the small heavenly circle. The closer we can coordinate what we are thinking about, this breathe in, with what we're doing. Internal breath, breathe in. Breathe out, return to the lower dantian. As we breathe in, up the back, breathe out, down the front. 2 times. Almost. I'm getting there. We're gonna do this today. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pull up the back and down the front. Pull up the back and down the front. All right, rest. This down front. As we pay attention to this idea of inner breath, what do I do with it? This chi thing, right? The lower dantian, 也可以说气海 Sea of Qi. It has multiple names. All right, long long history. The effort here is to circulate the inner breath down from the lower dantian through the Huiyan, Mingmen, Jiaji, Yujin, Bai Hui, Shuanggong, Renzhou, Zhongdantian, and back to the lower dantian. This middle dantian, Xiaotantian, Zhangdantian. Here, right here, this point right here, just below your nose, is called the Renjong. It connects the 2 channels, the Renmai and the Dumai, that make up this small heavenly circle. One starts here and ends here. The other one starts here and ends here. Tip of the tongue touches the roof of the mouth. That closes right here, closes that point so that both of those channels can connect. That circulation is one of 3 circles that we pay attention to as we begin to cultivate the inner breath, the qi. Press down, return to the lower dantian. Just think about it this way. There's a very nice, pretty painted balloon right up here, painted balloon, and I'm going to reach over and I'm going to grab it and I'm going to pull it into me. Because I want to look at it closer. So, reach in and that idea right here. I want to bring that in. As we pay attention to that idea, as we look at how we can connect the inner breath with the physical breath, with the outer movement, the concepts and teachings that we get from traditional Chinese medicine. Again, Yellow Emperor's Book of Internal Medicine. It goes way back. Lots of philosophy built, lots of other things. There were all sorts of misconceptions, same as we have today. This idea that we have these centers, the 3 in the front, that we have these gates, the 3 in the back, that we have these connecting points through the body. Now, there's the feet too, but I didn't talk about them. And hands, I didn't talk about that yet either. Give us a method for developing this inner energy. It depends on letting go of appearances, letting go of the misconceptions, letting go of all of whatever it was that you thought it was, and paying attention to how you feel inside. Paying attention to the basic principles. Not all of this. Out of all of this, basic principles. Pay attention to those. All right. One more for this morning. Pushing the mountain. And again, pay attention to the Bai Hui and the Hui Yin. That as we breathe in, pull up. As we breathe out, press down. Connect that motion with the idea. Again, this is entirely in your head. It's part physical, that you're physically pulling up through the lower part of your torso, right? That pelvic floor is actively pulling up. You need to use the restroom and you have to wait. That's the pull-up. That's what it feels. That's what you should feel. That pull down. As we pull in, connect the upper body and the lower body. Keep the upper body straight and relaxed, but pull that back in. Just like that balloon that we just had hold of, pull that in. So it comes from here. Straight down. Feet about shoulder width apart. Wiggle fingers, wiggle the toes. Pushing the mountain. Breathe in. breathe out. Bend the knees. And breathe in. Pull up. And breathe out. Down the front. Pull in. Breathe in. Up the back. And breathe out. Down the front. Pull in. Press out. Pay attention to the bai hui and the hui in. Connect the two. With the breath. Hu shi, breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pull up the back. Pull up through the wing. Pull in and pull up. Return to the lower dantian. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Quiet the mind. Pull up and pull in. Pull up through the hui yin, down through the bai hui. Pull in and down. Press down. Return to the lower dantian. 节目 Last time. Pull up. Hands down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Alright, relax. It's harder than it sounds, isn't it? This has to pull up, this has to pull down. I got to get the timing with the breath. I got to breathe in, I got to breathe out. I got to pay attention to the movement. I got to pay attention to this. I got to go. Qigong. Workmanship. Skill. Qi. Gong. Gongfu. Workmanship. Work. Yeah, it's work. That idea that it's not as easy as it would appear because there's much more going on inside than outside. First exercise, feet about shoulder width apart, stand straight, put your hands here, pull up, press down. We go up, then we go down, and we go up, then we go down, and that's it. And that's all you see. We have to connect the breath. Breathing, okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to go shopping later today, and the kids need some school supplies, and there was a dental appointment. Right? Breathe in, breathe out. If that's all you know, if that's all you're ever introduced to. You're not going to know what I just did. Understanding what we're doing inside, what we should be paying attention to, what we shouldn't be paying attention to, and developing the skills that we need to actually do that. It's how do we learn to practice? Physical practice, connect that qi, understood. In and out breath, physical breath, is not the internal breath. Distinguish clearly. Disregard the appearances. And as I translated from Professor Liu's book, you can develop clear understanding. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow with the advanced class.